Hey guys, Ronan here. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave just got announced today at the Nintendo Direct, and if you're a Three Houses fan, you'll definitely want to check it out because this is for sure in the same universe. We'll talk about evidence why because we're going to break this trailer down. But the question at hand is it a prequel or a sequel to Three Houses? And I think there's probably evidence for both depending on your perspective. So let's go ahead and break it down. If you're new, like and subscribe. I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan and I will be covering this game once it is finally released in 2026. One of the very first crests we see is actually a crest that Yuri had from Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is the crest of Albin. This is a crest that belonged to the four apostles in that storyline with the Ashen Wolves and the DLC that they have. What's interesting here though is also this other battle mechanic that you see with this like sphere has almost like a trifecta in the middle. It's kind of like purple and crimson. We'll talk more about that later because the Japanese name really ties into that. Skipping ahead to what I think is the next crest that you see is the crest of Lamine, which is Mercedes and Yuritsa's crest. And if this isn't enough evidence because it's a little hard to see in the screenshot in the trailer, I mean, just look at this character. He's a Death Dark Knight character. The Death Knight in Fire Emblem Three Houses is Yuritsa. They have the same personal ability, Murderous Intent. This is this guy's ability, and it's the same ability as the Death Knight. So, for sure, has got to be related. And while we're on this little clip here, I wanted to point out the new mechanic here. The Japanese name of this game is loosely translated to mean many purple, 1,000 crimsons, many flowers blooming. And you can see to use the blaze arts that this character uses, it has a whole bar that kind of like starts to light up. Not exactly sure what that means yet. It's a cool trifecta looking symbol, so I imagine it has something to do with like threes or something like that. Who knows, but I did want to point that out. The other crest you can easily find in this trailer is what appears to be the crest of Noah. Now what's interesting about this crest is in Fire Emblem Three Houses, this belongs to Constance, one of the DLC characters, and just based off the hair, I mean, they don't look like, I mean, we haven't seen this character's face, but based off the hair alone, they don't seem like they're related by blood. So I'm not sure how this character gets this crest or if they're even related, but something to point out. I'm going to go ahead and just let the trailer run for a little bit. We know that there's relic weapons in this trailer, and based off of the lore that we have in Three Houses, the relic weapons were created after the Nemesis War. So if this is a prequel, it has to take place after that, or they're retconning how the relic weapons were created, or possibly this is actually a sequel that takes place hundreds or thousands of years in the future. And there's two key parts that I want to point out for why it may possibly actually be a sequel rather than a prequel. First, let's take a look at the end of the trailer where Sothis speaks.
The years were long, weren't they? Have you forgotten me so soon?
The years were long, weren't they? That definitely seems like time has passed, and of course she follows it up asking if the character has forgotten her. So that could be very misleading because we don't know who she's talking to, whether it is a character that we create that we haven't even seen in the trailer. Maybe she's talking to like the spirit of Byleth because she kind of does look like she merged with female Byleth. We don't really know, but we do know in the past she did have an adult form in her physical form before she was murdered by Nemesis and all that stuff. So yeah, it could be in the past, it could be in the future. I mean, take a look at this screenshot. There's literally a gun, but we do know in the past you did have that civilization that was a little advanced. Maybe, I think this more than likely, if I had to guess, I'm thinking this is a sequel that takes place in the far, far future. That way they don't have to do anything with the Three Houses stuff. You can choose whatever ending, and because so much time has passed, it doesn't really matter what ending you chose. But then again, this very well could be a sequel that takes place kind of like right after the Nemesis War. I'm not sure, but I would love to hear your comments down below. And before we end this video, I do think there will be multiple routes. I mean, just take a look at the thumbnail for the trailer on YouTube's Nintendo's official page. Definitely seems like there will be multiple routes. And thank you to Reddit, as well as everyone that discussed some things inside Lucky Crit's livestream. I happened to check it out a little bit earlier, and they had some great information which helped create this video. See you next time. Like and subscribe if you're new. I'm Ronan. See ya.